चौपाल पे लास्ट में एडिट अपना नोट्स लिखने के लिए नहीं बना है, वो सिंपली कंट्रीब्यूट करने के लिए बना है. एंड इफ वी हैव सम इंफॉर्मेशन वी कैन कंट्रीब्यूट दैट इन विकिपीडिया. और अगर हमें रेफरेंस डालना नहीं आता है, if we don't know how to add categories, then no problem, go and click add something. If you know, add to category, add to reference, other things, add to picture, create template, better thing. But if you only contribute Wikipedia, that's it, that is best thing. And I hope after this conference we will got some other visually challenged persons. Thanks.
Any questions for him, please?
He mentioned the difficulty of the challenges of finding methods which are not explained properly. Say for instance categories, he'd given a specific example. I'm just wondering whether this is a matter that needs to be taken up by the dev community in general, that they need to be more and sensitive of the fact that people not just, the word we use is visually impaired. They need to understand that visual impairment is a whole spectrum, and that what looks simple, say small fonts, etc., looks simple to somebody who has excellent vision is not so simple for somebody who doesn't. Okay, and it could be complete difficulty like he's expressing for himself, or it may be a range of difficulties. The point is, as Jimmy was also saying in his speech, we need to have screens that are much simpler to navigate, and that includes navigation by screen readers. And also then the help, the assistance, the rules, etc., should be very clear, that if you have this problem, this is how you do it. If you have another problem, this is how you do it. If you find difficulty with with understanding instructions, then here's a simpler explanation of the same instructions. Thanks.
Thank you for your comments.
I have to reply?
Yeah, please, if you want to answer.
That's why I have asked to Jimmy Wells that if we can explain, people can't understand our problems if he's not visually challenged. If any visually challenged contributes in Wikipedia, then वो मेरी प्रॉब्लम डेफिनेटली समझ जाते हैं. आप मेरी विजुअली चैलेंज्ड की प्रॉब्लम को समझने के लिए विकिपीडिया को डेफिनेटली एक अलग से सेशन करना चाहिए, जिसमें कि हम अपने प्रॉब्लम शो कर सकें. अनफॉर्चुनेटली इस स्पीच की खबर मुझे अभी 15 मिनट बिफोर दी गई थी, इसलिए मैं अपने लैपटॉप के साथ आपको वो शो नहीं कर सका. बट इफ़ यू रियली वांट टू सी, देन आई एम इन विंसगेट होटल. You can come and see our problem. If there is another कोई और मंच मिलेगा, then I will show that problems.
Hi Anirudh, Sushmita again here. One thing first I would want कि आप जब खुद इतने edits कर चुके हैं, आपने वर्क अराउंड किया है कि जो विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड कर सकते हैं, तो आप खुद उसका एक पेज क्यों नहीं बनाते जिसमें इंफॉर्मेशन दीजिए ना कि ब्लाइंड कैसे एडिट कर सकता है. पॉसिबल?
यस, ये पॉसिबल है. और चूँकि अब मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों को बता दिया है कि हिंदी विकिपीडिया का एक मेंबर जो कि अनिरुद्ध है, वो एक विजुअली चैलेंज्ड पर्सन है, तो अगले यहाँ से कॉन्फ्रेंस के 3 दिन के भीतर you will see a complete page on हिंदी विकिपीडिया, जिस पे ये मेंशन रहेगा कि कौन से प्रॉब्लम्स वो फेस करते हैं और उन्हें इसका सॉल्यूशन कैसे निकालना है. मैंने पहले भी मेंशन किया है, आई हैव टोल्ड अर्लियर दैट व्हाई आई हैवंट डिस्क्लोज माय विजुअली इम्पेयर्डनेस, बिकॉज फॉर फर्स्ट शुरुआत से ही अगर मैंने बता दिया होता तो वो कमेंट्स नहीं मिलते मुझे, जो कि मुझे बेहद आई लाइक दैट कमेंट कि आपको श्रेणियाँ डालनी चाहिए, यू हैव टू ऐड कैटेगरीज, you have to give links, you have to my article is better than you because that is with reference, or I like this comment and that's why I haven't disclosed, but because after this I have disclosed that, तो आप हिंदी विकिपीडिया पे इससे संबंध में एक पेज देखेंगी और चौपाल पे इससे संबंध में एक वार्ता भी आपको देखने को डेफिनेटली मिल जाएगा। और इफ़ यू विल टाइप नागरी में अगर आप अनिरुद्ध टाइप करें गूगल पे भी तो फर्स्ट लिंक हिंदी विकिपीडिया से आता है। इन फर्स्ट लिंक you will get my Wikipedia page. On that page there is nothing. In earlier I have wrote something, but now that's nothing. After this conference I will revive back that all things and will definitely will add your query. और वहाँ से आपको वो लिंक मिल जाएगा जहाँ पे आप वो सारी चीज़ें देख पाएंगे कि हमें एडिट करने में जो दिक्कतें आती है।
अनिरुद्ध, वन मोर क्वेश्चन, आप कौन से सॉफ्टवेयर्स यूज़ करते हैं एडिट करने के लिए?
सिंपली जो अभी हमसे पहले वाले सर ने बताया, स्पीक, जॉस, विंडोज़ ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, सारे टूल्स वही हैं। कुछ भी स्पेशल नहीं है, मेरा काम भी बहुत स्पेशल नहीं है। ऑल थिंग्स आर वेरी सिंपल।
I'd like to use this platform to spread awareness about visually impaired people as we work with them. One takeaway for me is Anirudh didn't tell anyone I am visually impaired only because he wanted people to be angry with him. He wanted people to engage with him. So that is what you need to take home, that it's not sympathy, it's not kind of kids glove handling. They want that equality. Thank you.
Thank you, Aniruddha. We go to the next speaker of this session. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Krishna Kumar, who's come in from Birmingham, UK. Dr. Krishna Kumar is a technocrat who's very passionate about languages and culture and the linkages between them. He's a great believer that in a context where there are multiple languages, there needs to emerge a link language that's very specific to that context, which becomes the bridge language of communication. He is going to be talking to us today about the opportunities on what Wikipedia can do for the next 10 years in the context of languages and culture. He's a very passionate person about preservation of what languages as well. And I would request Dr. Krishna Kumar to please come on stage and deliver his address. Please welcome, sir.
कुछ शब्द मैं डॉक्टर कृष्ण कुमार के बारे में बोलना चाहूँगा। उन्होंने 1964-1965 में आईआईटी मद्रास से बीटेक किया इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियरिंग में, और उसके बाद इंग्लैंड चले गए और वहाँ पर पिछले 35 से भी अधिक वर्षों से भारतीय भाषाओं के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। आज के समय में जिस तरह से हम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स साधनों का उपयोग करके बहुत आसानी से कम्युनिटी डेवलप कर लेते हैं भाषाओं को विकसित करने के लिए, उसमें ऐसी स्थिति नहीं रही। और ख़ास करके विदेशी ज़मीन पर अपनी भाषाओं को विकसित करने के लिए उन्होंने जो त्याग किया, उसका फल उन्हें अभी मिल रहा है कि लोग भाषाओं के प्रति जागरूक हो रहे हैं और अपने देश में नहीं विदेश में भी भाषाओं को सम्मान दे रहे हैं, अपनी भाषाओं को। उन्होंने काफ़ी काम किया है विदेश में अपनी भारतीय भाषाओं के लिए, न केवल हिंदी के लिए बल्कि काफ़ी दक्षिण भारतीय भाषाओं के लिए भी, इंग्लिश के लिए भी। जो भी भारतीय मूल के वहाँ पर लोग हैं या वहाँ के स्कूल या कॉलेज में जो भी भारतीय भाषाएं पढ़ाई जा रही है कोर्स में, उसमें कहीं न कहीं डॉक्टर कृष्ण कुमार जैसे लोगों कृष्ण कुमार का योगदान है। व्यक्तिगत रूप से वहाँ के लोग भारतीय भाषाओं के लिए जो विकास में लगे हुए हैं, सभी का एक जो रोल मॉडल है वो कृष्ण कुमार है। तो हम उनको उस नज़रिए से उनकी बातों को सुनेंगे कि वहाँ उन्होंने विश्व हिंदी सम्मेलन जैसे कई आयोजित करवाए हैं, और विकीमीडिया से वो उतने परिचित नहीं होते हुए भी वे चाहते हैं कि हम विकीमीडिया को कैसे भारतीय भाषाओं के विकास के लिए उपयोग करें, भारतीय धरती पर और बाहर की धरती पर भी। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Kundan. Thank you, Arun, in the beginning. आप सब यहाँ आए हैं, धन्यवाद आपके आने का। सबसे पहले मैं तो मंत्रमुग्ध हो गया सत्यशीलन जी के बाद में अनिरुद्ध जी की बातों को सुन करके, कि जो विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड होते हुए भी अपनी इम्पेयरमेंट को आप लोगों के सामने नहीं रखा और उन सब को शर्मसार कर दिया जिनको किसी चीज़ की इम्पेयरमेंट नहीं है। हैट्स ऑफ टू अनिरुद्ध एंड सत्यशीलन जी, who is showing way to the world that if you have the will and the determination and the patience, then nothing is beyond the human capability. So before I thank anyone else, I salute both Satyashilan ji and Anuruddh. And I thank the organizers of Wikipedia to have given impromptu invitation to Anuruddh and come here and share his experience. Had this experience been not shared, I think the Wikipedia conference would have been incomplete. So wonderful Wikipedia, wonderful Wikimedia, and the future of Wikimedia and Wikipedia in the world is bright. Before I begin to say what I really want to convey and share with you, first of all, Jimmy has gone. I congratulate Jimmy for the vision he had and the way in 10 years' time what Wikimedia, Wikipedia has done, what Alexandria Library in Egypt unfortunately failed to do, in my opinion, in more than 2,000 years. Alexandria Library boasts to be, or used to boast to be, the only source of information in the world where you could get any information you dream of, you think of. But Wikipedia is doing that and has done that in less than 10 years. And the main reason is the determination of people like Jimmy Wales and the whole Wikipedia media in the world, and availability of the technology of the 20th and 21st century. So Wikipedia, Wikimedia, thank you. You're doing great job, and you will be doing a lot of service to a country like India, in which language problems have multiplied in the period since India got independence. I'll be sharing with you on some of those problems which Indian languages face at the moment, and perhaps without entering into the arena of complicated politics, I'll point out without any shadow of doubt where the main problem lies. Time has passed on, but still people are entitled to know who is perhaps the main source or reason for creating or letting the language problems develop in the country like India. So I do thank Hisham, Vishakha ji, and Mumbai Wikipedia community, particularly Kundan, Pranav, Pradeep, and Moksh, that I do realize why I do thank them before that, because I do realize how difficult it is to tie a bell in the neck of a cat. बिल्ली के गले में घंटी बांधना इतना आसान नहीं है. In other words, to initiate something is not easy. And you all have done it, you're doing it, and you will continue to do it. For that, I do thank. And I do thank Wikipedia Conference for giving me this opportunity of coming over to coming over to Mumbai and sharing with you whatever I have to share. And what a lovely hall it is. And when I came through the main door, I saw what really every Indian should feel proud in seeing it. And what it is, I say Mumbai Vidyapeeth, first at the top. Under that is University of Mumbai. Every person in the world, leave alone India, should be proud of their language, should be proud of their mothers, should be proud of the parents, never mind how inadequate perhaps they may prove to be later on. They are your mother, your language is your mother tongue, and you should be proud. And that's what, when I saw it, I felt really proud. I did visit this university when A.D. Sawant was Pro-Vice Chancellor of the university. In terms of the importance of language, or in terms of importance of medium of instruction. What medium of instruction should there be in any country? And I have quoted in my various articles about what A.D. Sawant had said, and which numerous scholars all over the world have said. The language of instruction, language of medium in any country should be the language of that country. And for that matter, roughly 2000 years, more than 2000 years ago, जो भारत के शीर्षस्थ कूटनीतिज्ञ हैं, चाणक्य, जिनके बारे में आप सब में कहीं न कहीं नाम सुना होगा, चाणक्य ने कहा था कि अगर किसी करना है, if you want to finish a nation, तो वहाँ की शिक्षा का माध्यम बदल दो. Change the medium of instruction of the nation, and the nation will finish by itself in due course of time. And that's what precisely was done with thorough planning, that when the Britishers came to this country in the beginning of 17,000, you all fully understand, I don't need to restate it. Their intention here was not what it is normally said. The intention here was that how can we rule India, Britishers, and how can we spread Christianity. These were the two main agenda by which they had come. But they had not realized how difficult it could possibly be to do both these acts, because the fabrics of language and culture, this country was so interwoven that Macaulay, when he went back after 6 months stay in the country in 1834, he said, "Look, my queen, it is not possible to rule India unless we break the backbone of India, which is culture, which is language." On 2nd February 1835, in the British Parliament, he declared, which is now in the public arena. Came back to India. That time, the Governor General was William Banting in 1830s thereabout. With the support of Queen, William Banting gave his approval for the proposal of Thomas Babington Macaulay that medium of instruction in India should be changed, at least in higher education at that time, to English. Mr. Duff, a Scottish gentleman, prepared the document, and March 1835, in India it was announced English will be the medium of instruction in all higher education. And there we have that today, everywhere we see a mad race for changing, replacing the regional languages or mother tongues in different regions of India, where the medium of instruction should become English. Earlier on, Jimmy Wales said in his deliberation that the Latin language has become virtually extinct if it has not become extinct. What a great shame it is. Because there was a time when all work was done in Latin. That was a language, at least in all cultural and religious activities, and a language which got its birth only in 14,060, that's English, gradually displaced and now made extinct the Latin language. People can't even read. Up to some time, Latin language was on the course of British schools. My son, who is nearly 41, studied Latin in the very beginning, and when wanted to study Latin later on, he was told, "We don't offer any more." When he was only 6 or 7 years of age, he studied Latin. So this was gradual planning, how to let a particular language go out of the door, whichever is open. And that's how language Latin became extinct. And later on I'll touch upon it, how a language does become extinct. The process by which a language becomes extinct, a process by which a language becomes endangered, and India tops in many things. But one of them, unfortunately, is the number of languages which are endangered in India, which is the maximum in the world, 198. At the moment, there are 198 languages which are waiting to be extinct, endangered. How an endangered language is defined is if over 100 years period, the speakers of any language is reduced by 60 to 80%, then that language is assumed to be, deemed to be an extinct language. At the moment, it is known that there are roughly 6,500 living languages. And UNESCO's project has assessed that if nothing is done, if things are left on its own, then 50% of these living languages in the world will die. And it will be great shame if this does happen. Because language on its own is virtually dumb. In the sense, language and culture, they're both tied together. If the language goes, the culture goes. And if the culture and language, they both disappear, you know what will be written in the pages of history. So, the thrust of what I am going to speak to you, some of you have touched upon right now, is why it is important that every nation should have a link language, which some people call it national language. But all that is meant by national language or the link language, the language through which a nation can talk, a nation can speak, not the language through which a person can become a scholar or a pandit, but language through which people can establish communication, their ideas, their vichar, and so on. And the second thing, the thrust is, why is it important that we should preserve all the languages? Because the languages are, each and every language is the mother tongue of someone. And my appeal to you, which I appealed in Chennai in 2006 at Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha, that people should attempt to preserve their mother tongue. And I gave my argument for that. People ask me the question, Dr. Kumar, the resources are getting reduced day by day. Arun, please, do let me know when to stop. Give me 5 minutes notice, okay? Because friends, I can talk on this issue for days and days without looking at any paper. So, time is scarce. So, Arun, please give me 5 minutes so that I can wrap it up. So, I was telling you my experience, giving you my experience in Chennai in 2005, I believe, that when I was speaking at Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha, attempt should be made to preserve the mother tongues. But someone asked me from the audience, Dr. Kumar, resources are getting limited. We don't have too much time. We don't have too much money. Why should we try and save a language which is dying, which is virtually finished, which we know will finish in due course of time, and we all know the languages do finish. I kept quiet. I didn't say anything. I said, any other question, please? Then the questions, all questions started in that, yes, I support with them, I said. So I said, all right, now I understand that you people are in favor of letting your mother die. I said, tell me, if your mother was in front of you and doctors had come and told you that, look, your mother has reached to the end of the road and she is destined to die, say, within next month, 2 months, week, 2 weeks, what will you do? Will you let your mother just simply die, pass away? Or will you do something about it so that that doesn't happen? I only read yesterday in the newspaper that in Mumbai, I forget the name of the lady, more than 100 years old lady in Mumbai, her 70-year-old daughter had died. I think some Frank something's the name. And the daughter died, 70-year-old daughter was lying on the bed and she was sitting in the corner, lying on the bed perhaps. And nobody wanted to know about that 100-year-old lady. And why I'm saying this is because it has relevance to what I'm saying, that we all make an attempt to see the person is not left, or the language is not left on its own device to die. No one is willing to take care of that Christian lady living in the courtyards of the church. People said, okay, no one wants to look after that, we will make some arrangement. Local authorities, local people, church people, they said, look after. They have taken away the body of that 70-year-old daughter of hers who died, and they're going to maintain and look after that lady, 100-year-old lady, for the respect of her age, that she should not be allowed to die on its own without doing anything. Someone brought some dal and chawal. Her daughter had just died. She had not eaten for 2-3 days. She forgot about everything and happily ate that dal and chawal. This was reported in the newspaper yesterday. So we all attempt to make sure that our elderly, our parents, our mothers are kept alive. Then tell me one thing, please. Ask them and ask you. Would you if you can't let your mother die, why should you allow to let your mother tongue die? Unless everyone feels so passionately about the language, that language is my mother, and the language is really mother, then everyone will work, in my opinion, to save their languages. And this argument when I gave, they have become my passionate follower in Chennai, and they are willing to support the movement I have. So my dear friends, I was saying that two things important, that every nation should have a link language, and that link language should be a language of its own. Please mind it, not a foreign language, not a foreign language. See what happened to Africa. That in Africa, all its natural languages have gone. English has been replaced by those languages. With that, although they are preserving African culture, but a lot of it has also disappeared. And this is happening all over. So, every attempt, I would say, in a country like India, I would say at the moment there's a great movement going on that language of instruction should become English, and various people, I can name them, but there's no point in naming. They say the children don't study English. Right from the very beginning, they will be deprived of the knowledge. Knowledge Commission writes it. Now, where on earth did they find that English language is the custodian of knowledge? A language which got its birth only in 1460. The language which developed from Western Germanic languages. A language whose real grammar was written only in 1755. How could that language dominate over the language in India? Everyone in the world, even learned Englishmen, they accept and say that Roman language is the most inadequate. They say, what should the language be? What you speak, you should write. And what you write, you should speak. तो हिंदी में इसको कहते हैं कि भाषा को ध्वनात्मक होना चाहिए. ध्वनात्मक, ध्वनि के अनुकूल. English language, we all know, I don't need to give examples, it is not. George Bernard Shaw said, anyone who can improve my language will have 1/3 of my will. As far as the script is concerned, Vedic script, Devanagari script, is known to be most scientific language in the world. This has been said time and time again. I can quote hundreds of Western well-known linguists who have supported it with the arguments. then why is it people in India advocate for India that if they don't know English from the very beginning, they will be deprived of knowledge? Look at Israel, where the medium of instruction is Hebrew. Right from the young age, children study Hebrew, and right up to the end, they study Hebrew. Everything is done in Hebrew. Medical studies in Hebrew, engineering studies in Hebrew, primary school, primary education in Hebrew, and all the work. And what happened in Israel? A small little place in the world map, and has been successful in getting at least 12, 15 Nobel Prize. Why? Simply because they work in the language which they heard in their mother's womb. माँ के गर्भ में जिस भाषा को सुना, उसी भाषा के अनुरूप वो काम करते हैं। अभिमन्यु को कैसे पता था चक्रव्यूह भेदन की कला? चक्रव्यूह भेदन की कला अभिमन्यु ने सुन लिया था अपने माँ के गर्भ में अर्जुन को बताते हुए, और उसी को उसने इस्तेमाल किया। तो द लैंग्वेज which is spoken to the child in the mother's womb, that's the language in which it is best expressed. And lingual scientists, neural language experts, NLP, they have established that if you write in the language which is the mother tongue, you can best express your views. We write in English, think in different language, and then obviously the quality of our output is not the best. So friends, what I would like to say to you now, I have been given a hint that I've got 4 minutes left now, I think. So I'll finish it in 4 minutes. That language of instruction in any nation should be their own language, the language through which the masses can speak, and only then and then alone the creative output of the nation will be the quality which other nations will drive. Other argument which is given in India, and unfortunately also in China now, that if you don't communicate in the language which is only a few hundred years old, whose script and the language itself is inadequate, you will be left behind in globalization. As I was introduced, I am a technocrat. I know what sells in the marketplace. In the marketplace, it is not the language that sells. In the marketplace, what sells is the product, its quality, its the price, and how well you maintain. Maintenance policies. If your quality of product is good, if the price you charge for the product is internationally acceptable, and if a maintenance policy is acceptable, good, then everyone will run and rush. And if you want to trade in the international market, then not only language, you should learn the culture of that nation where you're going to trade. And linguists have established that you can learn any business language in 2 weeks' time. So friends, what is happening at the moment in the name of globalization in India and in China, unfortunately, is not globalization, it is westernization. And westernization is happening at the cost of our well-established Vedic culture, in which everything is well laid out, what human duties are. And Anirudh so clearly indicated without saying it in so many words, he so humbly accepted, said, maybe my English is inadequate, but his English was so adequate that some of the 2 or 3% people of the nation who claim to understand English. See, please note it, that about 75% of the nation India can speak Hindi well, and only 2 to 3% of the nation's population can speak, understand, and write English properly, and they are trying to dominate the country. How unfortunate it is. It's tragic that we are forcing down their throat a language which they don't understand. Look at the 20% Adivashis who are living in jungles of Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra, and Bihar. Look at in Andhra, the Gondvi language which was there is virtually becoming extinct. And when I went and saw the Gondvi item they used to produce in their culture, I was amazed. So please, please, try and do something about it so that your language, Indian language, my language is preserved. Language of the nation is your own language, and so that we are able to produce creative output which is good. So what Wikipedia can now do, in 3 minutes I will try and complete that. So Wikipedia, as I've already said, has done a wonderful job. But what Wikipedia has so far done has focused, and rightly perhaps, is on languages. It has done tremendous job. I indicated earlier, Alexandria Library in Egypt has not been able to do. It has done tremendous job. But language should be tied to culture. So my earnest request to all, and I hope this message is sent, and Jimmy Wales himself indicated in his deliberation, so he is conscious of it, that language and culture should be tied together. And more work, Wikipedia has not done too much of work in terms of saving the endangered languages. Wikipedia can join hands, and I see there's no shame in joining hands with already existing projects in the world of endangered languages. UNESCO has got a project in which this is known as Red Book Project, in which they have done what needs to be done to preserve the language, and two things basically, the vocabulary, grammar, and phrases which other organizations are doing, and Wikipedia can join that. And then sensitizing people, the why, making people जागरूक, तो वो विकिपीडिया अपने माध्यम से कर सकता है. और इसके अंदर कई organizations हैं, हर काम के लिए, for each and every work, because I see in front of me sitting a gentleman whose language is certainly not Hindi, perhaps maybe English. So for the benefit of that, I can speak this English. For every project to be started, we need money. And there are organizations in different parts of the world who support this, who got funds for this. And one UNESCO can approach to them, tie up with them, and make use of the funds which are already available to work on endangered languages and do that great job. And what my organization can do, what Gitanjali can do, what Gitanjali Multilingual Literary Circle, which is the organization was set up through me, the experience were gained in IIT Madras. Those who are aware of IIT Madras, it was established in virtually a jungle, and the ideas for this multilingualism were germinated in 1960s, and eventually in 1995 Gitanjali Multilingual Literary Circle was formed, and the whole idea is sensitizing people about their own languages. 2 minutes. So what Gitanjali has got the experience in the UK of organizing very many, at least 5 or 6 international multilingual and Hindi conferences. Gitanjali is connected to the ground, connected with the people, and Wikipedia is a community project. Unfortunately, in the UK, I don't see that Wikimedia chapter of UK is so sensitive on that. So I offer the services of Gitanjali, if they want to, that we can work together in sensitizing people about the languages, about the culture, and how they can get more work from the people in the UK English is as it is stops in the other languages. I have access personally, I have personal access to people of different languages in the UK and fortunately also in India. I know people up and down in various parts of India in different languages, and since I've traveled through and through India to passionately make this feeling available and aware that you don't have to be following blindly that English is the only our savior. Indians are never opposed to any language, but Indians are definitely opposed to a language, a foreign language coming and ruling over us. No. So I'm not against English. English is a very good language. It has become always a lingua franca of the world. But please, in India, I would like English to exist, not to disappear. But I like our Indian languages to prosper, and this can be done a lot in the country. For example, a certain project was undertaken in UK to collect the data about number of speakers in different languages, and how unfortunate it is that language survey doesn't include any data about South Indian languages. How many speakers there are in the UK of Malayalam, which there are plenty. How many speakers there are in Telugu, which there are plenty. But that language survey doesn't show that. It's unfortunate. In terms of preservation of culture, the Indian culture, our Vedic culture in the UK, if it is live primarily because of South Indians and primarily because of Marathis and Gujaratis. Unfortunately, those who are supposed to be the custodians or think to be custodians of Indian Vedic culture, Indian Vedic languages, North Indian people, they are not to be seen. I'm ashamed of it because I was born in North India. But when people ask me, which place do you belong to? I proudly say, I belong to India. But if you ask any Indian anywhere, who are you? I'm Gujarati, I'm Punjabi, I'm Malayali. They're everything but Indians. So this self-pride in belonging to the nation you do, it's a very dangerous thing. And this is what on 15th August 1947, Arbindoji had said that India is getting independence. I am proud. But I'm afraid India may not remain together. Integration of India is likely to be in danger. And now we see, more than 6 decades later, that we are more divided because of various issues in India than we were at the time when we got independence. Why the language problem is in India, I had said, I will indicate that. The architect of this nation, independent nation, is Gandhi. And Gandhiji indicated to that time the politicians of nation, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Patel, and others, that now we got India independent, we fought the Britishers for our independence under the banner of Bharat, Swatantrata. Now is the time, and what binds together the nation is the national language, our link language. Announced today from Red Fort that the language of the nation is what? And at that time Gandhiji had done the survey. At that time Gandhiji had done the survey, and he had Gandhi, Vinoba Bhai, Monier Williams, I can go on and give example, that the maximum language which was understood by the nation was Hindi. And Gandhiji asked Jawaharlal Nehru, announced today Hindi is the national language. When Babu Rajendra Prasad, the then president, announced the nation of the language is Hindi. Jawaharlal Nehru did not do. And the reason why he did not do, It's all documented now. Nothing is hidden why he did not do it. And the language problem which exists in the country, my dear friends, is because of the first Prime Minister of the nation. I'm not accusing him for that. It was a mistake which he made, but 64 years have gone. In 1800 we were slaves. We are not slaves anymore. We can take decision. And just like Wikipedia is a community-based project, my friends, Wikipedia is a community-based project. This language problem will not be resolved by the politicians of the nation. This language problem will be solved by the community. So the community needs to understand, and not for today, for 60 years to come, that why we should have a language of the nation which is Indian. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your address. And we can take one question since we are kind of 15 minutes next session. Go ahead, please.
Sir, we should have 8 papers in the local language, 1 paper Hindi and English in conversation. Information kiosks, YouTube, mobile should be used to teach local languages. Book centers, bookstores should have local languages and not English. And we should teach essay writing and different script writings and all in the local languages, so that this should not take place. Nehru fooled the people by trying to introduce Hindi and then gave up. We should have 8 papers local. Suppose Tamil Nadu 8 Tamil, Gujarat 8 papers Gujarat that way, and not English. English has ruined our country.
Absolutely right. But you are giving very specific solutions. And what I have suggested, my dear friend, a philosophical approach, a concept. And you talked only specific in terms of the exam papers. I'm not saying that exam papers will do everything. First of all, conceptually, we have to agree on that. And then we have to make reforms in education, we have to make reforms in our administration, we have to make reform our legal system. So, but we have to understand as a concept what we in the nation need. So your idea is good, and I think we should move in that direction. Thank you.
Sir, I would like to know what is the future of Indian regional languages at local and international level, and what everybody can do at individual level.
At individual level, what everybody can do, first of all, I would say you should all feel proud of your language. You should not feel ashamed of speaking your languages, even if there are some people in the audience who cannot understand that language. But then ownership is on you, so the other person doesn't feel that you're talking anything against that person. So make them understand. So first thing is, you should feel proud of your language. Now you said national languages, and I very quietly skipped that. In favor of those 22 languages which are enshrined in our constitution, I'm in favor of that. And I would like some more languages to be added, because there is a politics involved with this, because there is money involved with it. So I'm in favor of more languages. For example, Bhojpuri is one language they are advocating very hard, and it is not. But there are some 10 languages, which the speakers of that language are very few, but there is still on the list of 22 languages. So more language should be, but I am speaking to you, I'm talking to you about the language through which the nation will talk. When you go outside India, then people should know the language of the nation is maybe Hindi. If it is Tamil, I have no problem. If it's Bengali, I have no problem. If it's Marathi, I have no problem. But that language must be the language of India, not any foreign language. That's the first thing. Then the whole process is very complicated, very detailed. How will we go about? Had it been done on 15th August 1947, everything was done by now. But now it's late. At that time it was the politics which could have done, national leaders could have done, they didn't do it. Now it is we the people have to do it. So that's the process. And more I didn't want to advertise in my own essays, which have been published in the form of a book. I've given whole procedure how in 60 years' time we can change the nation. It won't take 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It will take 60 years' time, 40 to 60 years' time to change the mean of instruction to this. My formula is in Tamil Nadu, mean of instruction, Tamil. Every work in Tamil and so on. Everything is given in that book. So I fully agree with you. There should be one link language and we should feel proud in our own languages.